of the week. It will be available on there under the section live demos. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, wonderful. So thank you. Welcome everybody again. Thank you for joining this webinar. We have organized this in addition to the manuals that we have shared to actually show you by video as exhibitors the steps to build your booth for WCN, and 2, to have the opportunity to talk to you and answer any questions that you may have about the exhibition or the Congress. So we have made time in the agenda for this towards the end, but feel free to ask any questions in the chat during the first part. We'll make sure to address them as soon as we can, or in the Q&A. So I wanted to quickly introduce you to some of the faces of the ISN team involved in the exhibition at WCN. We have, sorry, I'm just going to stop. Paul, if you're able to, would you mind monitoring the lobby to let people into the meeting?
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you, because I have the notifications, just want to make sure they can get in. So we have Michael, the events director, Paolo, Alex, myself, Charlie. Paolo is managing the industry symposia, which if you have had a Sympo at WCN, you would have already known and been in touch with him. Alex is organizing a lot of the logistics for exhibition, but also adverts and sponsorship. Myself, Charlie. Also on the call, we have Cover. As Cover is the company providing our virtual platform, including the exhibition technology. So we have Paul from Cover on the call today to assist with any technical questions also. So we're one team, you can reach out to any of us, but to make sure you get the quickest answers, you can direct your emails to the correct person here. So today is the second webinar in a series targeted for our industry partners, and these webinars are recorded and shared afterwards on the manuals. Today, what I'm going to talk about is a little bit about WCN overall, what to expect. We'll take you through building a booth from scratch, show you how a delegate would access that booth on the platform. I'll share some information about registrations and then the Q&A. Here you can see some of the people and organizations that are involved with ISN putting WCN together. WCN is organized by the ISN every year. It's uniquely a global congress with international impact, and each year with the help of host societies, we bring the international facing congress to a specific region. So we're very glad this year to be hosted by the Asian Pacific Society of Nephrology and the Malaysian Society of Nephrology. The Congress is chaired by Professor Agnes Fogo, who is the ISN president, who came into position at the last WCN. And our local organizing working group and scientific program working group are working very hard to make WCN a big success. So we are pleased to be organizing WCN in a hybrid format. So both virtual and in-person elements. This was communicated a few weeks back. The ISN had been and still is following guidance from the Malaysian authorities and local partners. And just to give you a bit of a background, on October 18th, the state of Kuala Lumpur had entered into the next stage of their national plan, their national COVID plan. So this means that things like meetings and events are opening up. So WCN remains mainly a virtual congress with an expected 4,000 delegates to join us virtually from all over the world. And in addition to that, we are expecting about 400 local delegates to Kuala Lumpur. And the virtual congress will be supplemented with in-person activities taking place during the day, Malaysian time, at the convention center. And these include a single track program, posters, an exhibition. And all of these parts of the Congress are also, of course, available virtually, so really a hybrid setup for an international audience. For both virtual and in-person, the registration fees remain the same. So with this, we have a local partner working on behalf of the ISN, who is based in Malaysia. So really working on the ground there and able to assist with all the logistics of the activities happening at the convention center. The company is under S40 or AF. So for things like the in-person booth or anything happening in Kuala Lumpur, you might receive information from them, but we work very closely, of course. So we wanted to show you a bit of an overview of the Congress, what to expect, the main days, and also before and after. So in the days before the Congress, we have a number of activities going on already, raising the curtain sessions, the pre-Congress courses, and the policy forum. The Raising the Curtain sessions are hosted by our national and regional societies around the world. These will really open up the Congress. So starting in the West with North America, then Europe, then Africa, and coming through and rolling all through the world to sort of start the show. And we're really excited for these. These are open access, so also will serve as a last-minute promotion to register for the whole Congress. We do typically see a lot of registrations coming in just before the Congress with a virtual event. We just had our early bird registration deadline and registrations are looking very good. So February 25th is really when the full extent of the Congress becomes available. So exhibition, posters, scientific program. We do accommodate the regions for who it is difficult maybe to connect by having a daily highlight session that is scheduled in their time zone. We'll also have some live content. Then after the main Congress days, the platform remains accessible for a few weeks. All of the features remain accessible, including the exhibition booths. You're able to edit your booth content at any time. We don't close it off, although we do ask for them to be prepared by a certain date. But if, for example, you want to edit some content for this on-demand phase, that's possible to do so. Here you can just view how the virtual scientific program plays in the different time zones around the world. So now we can really get into the booth building. There are two important tools you will need to know for this. The manual, which is shown here in this website format, and the industry portal where you can upload your booth bits and your registrations. There are 3 levels of exhibitor, as you will know. For today's demo, I'm going to be using the example of the 3-star booth. The first important thing to note is that 2-star and 3-star booths have this booth visual feature. What this essentially means is that you have this area. So a delegate clicks on one of these red prompt circles and the content, the PDF or the videos that you've uploaded will open. This visual needs to be created by the exhibitor. We have offered a template, a generic one that you see here, which you can use if you prefer. Either way, the design in the gray boxes here where the PDFs or the videos will be linked, you will need to add some design into that. For example, the product picture or click here for XYZ, a TV screen. That would be completely up to the exhibitor. If you want, you can redesign the whole template from scratch. Just to bear in mind that in your design, these red dots will stay in that position, so they are not movable. We've provided the Photoshop files and the PNG files in the manuals. So again, that's for 2-star and 3-star. Once you have that visual prepared, you can build your booth by logging into the industry portal, clicking on the industry showcase and filling in the fields, which I will show you now. Okay. So here's the industry portal. You should have all received your login after booking. And you'll find the industry showcase button here. And here you see the form. So I've just pre-filled it with some info here just for the sake of this webinar. But you would start to fill in with your company name, your company description, etc. All of this will be placed on the booth. So if I just scroll down, you can see here also it gives you the specifications that are also listed in the manual as a reminder here. So your logo. For your contact, this person is going to be listed on the first page of your booth, and later on I'll show you there is a button on your booth that delegates can leave a message for you on. So all of those messages are sent to the email that you place in this field. So I would recommend, if you have available, to use sort of a generic contact here. If you go to the next page, so you'll have a number of booth holders in your package. We have 6 for 3-star. I've just filled in 3 here. So when you click to add one, these are the fields that it will ask for. And you see this Calendly key. I'll just touch on that later and show you what that means. Then on the next page is where you can upload the background image that I spoke about. You can set your access, your videos here. The live chat, we'll go into that maybe in the next webinar when we talk about the different networking streams and opportunities. But I just wanted to mention for the disclaimers, if you wanted to, you can have a pop-up that is customized completely your text that you provide. For example, here I haven't put any access restrictions on, but I have included a message here to say this booth is intended for US health professionals only, for example. So for this way, if a delegate, a non-HCP delegate can enter my booth, but they will be shown this disclaimer message. Next page is where you can upload your PDFs. It's important here that for the 3-star, you have 3 videos in your package. The 3rd video is just on this page, separated from the first 2. So just to keep that in mind, you'll find it on the next page. And that is it. You can save it with whichever name. This is not shown to the public or the delegates. And it allows you also to preview how your booth is going to look during the Congress. Just show here, you have your visual area. If I clicked on the video, pops up here. And then all of the content is available below as well here. So you'll see on the booth personnel, the Calendly option is now shown here. So this is so that delegates can book an appointment or a meeting with you. This is optional. It's very easy to use. If I just go back, I can show you what it looks like. Yeah, so like I said, it's very easy to use Calendly. I had actually never used it before WCN, and I managed to set it up in about 5 or 6 minutes. The account is free to set up. You can select which times that you're available. For example, Monday to Friday between 3 and 4 p.m. You can select the time zone. You can even link it to your Office 365 so that it can spot free moments in your calendar and allow people to book meetings at these times automatically. But again, this is optional. I've only added it in for the example of this Julie person. It's up to you. To make the link, I go back to build my booth. You can see here I've added in a Calendly key in this box here, and you can find this by going to account, my link, and it's right there. It's just everything after the /. So some extra information to consider if you plan on using a microsite with the 3-star option. So that's your own company external booth website. Just pop the URL into the company description. You need to have your logo and your company name, but you don't need to add anything else. The technicians will make the link for you. Another thing is for the 1-star booths, instead of a booth visual, you will have the space to upload a company banner, and the rest of the process is exactly the same as this demo. So now we want to give you a preview of how the virtual platform will look. These are a draft. The designs have been designed to reflect the hybrid format of WCN. So we have sort of a computer style with references to Kuala Lumpur in there. But overall, most importantly, it's been designed with simplicity, and usability in mind. So how will a delegate access the exhibition? On February 25th, they will log into the platform. This is the page that they will land on. They will click on Industry Showcase, shown here with the arrow, and then all the exhibiting logos will be displayed, and they'll click on your logo and they'll be in your booth. So it's really 2 clicks. We wanted to keep it as short of a route as possible. The next slide shows the community hub area of the virtual platform. So like I had said, in wanting to keep the designs direct and simple to use, we have this additional community area where delegates can find other Congress activities. So the foyer really displays the main pillars of a Congress, the scientific program, exhibitions, symposia, posters, and a delegate might log in just before the opening ceremony, need to find it very quickly and able to, and then afterwards start to explore a bit, maybe in the community hub. One of these activities you'll see here is the ISN Community Film Event, which I did just want to take a quick moment to share this, just as a reminder really that all partners can submit a video for consideration to this film event. And these videos are collected that reflect patient experiences or provide education on kidney disease or build awareness. So I wanted to share this because I think that many companies have materials already existing. So feel free to look at the details and submit your video. There is a deadline coming up. The videos receive thousands of views, and there's a ceremony during the event and also World Kidney Day. So registrations. There are 2 types of registrations, full Congress and industry access. Companies may receive a number of complimentary full Congress registrations depending on your booking. So Platinum supporters have 3 full Congress included, Gold have 2, and then in addition, the 3-star showcases will have 2 full Congresses, and the showcase 2-star will have 1 full Congress included. The full Congress allow access to all areas of WCN. These registrations will be ready for you in your industry portal to allocate names to Please do this before February 11th. Any name changes received after that date are subject to a fee. The registrations are intended for use by your company reps. Then the second type, the industry access badges, you can request an unlimited number of these complimentary industry access badges. These are for your staff to use for organizing purposes, for staffing the booth. They give you access to the industry symposia and the industry showcase, the exhibition area. So this slide here is just copied from the manual, so it shows you how to order the extra registrations and how to complete the names. So I will, I'll just show you on the portal where you can find that as well. We have two. We have add registrations to my group and complete badge names. Here you can see an overview of your group. And then if you wanted to add, you can click another add another participant and go through the steps. Then the second, complete badge names. So here we have one industry access badge and one industry full badge, and it's asking to enter the name. Usually the system will recognize a name if it's already in our system and fill it in for you. So if this pop-up does come up, do try to take it so that we don't have duplicates. And the reason is if we create a second account for somebody, it might cause some issues when they're trying to log in for the event for the first time. So this will just really save time for the delegate and make sure they can access without any hiccups. So if I just try with a colleague, here it should pop up. Here we go. So yeah, if you see that that is indeed the same person, you can click select. And that will save automatically, so you can press back to overview. So as I said, if you could just do that before February 11th. I think I've come to the end of all that I wanted to show. I stop sharing now. Feel free to unmute yourself or use your video. I'm happy to take any questions. I'm going to also take a look in the chat just in case. So for Lucy, about the booth personnel, if you don't add any people, they won't show up. So in that example, I was allowed to upload 6 and I only added 3. But if I didn't add anybody, then it would just not show up. So it is possible to turn it off.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep, sure. I'll just quickly show you again about the completing the names for your delegates. If you go to your industry portal and follow the steps for a complete badge name, here I have 2 groups because I'm registered, but you'll just come up with this page and edit and fill in the details here. When the delegate logs in for the first time, they will be asked to set a password if they don't already have an account. Normally, if you have the pop-up like I had with Ela, it means that she has an account, so she has her password ready. And then they are asked to provide some extra information, such as area of activity, yeah, more info basically to build up their profile. So this recording is going to be added to the manuals, hopefully by the end of the week. We just need a day or two for it to process. The physical booth setup, so that will be managed with our partners AF, and we're working on the manuals now to share with you. So you'll receive that information from them. So a question, can you tell us a bit about the key metrics of the virtual booth? In case we use a microsite, is it possible to fetch key metrics? So as a standard, the metrics that we collect are, to do this from memory a little bit, but it's we're able to share with you a sort of collective report of your of the visits to your booth. And this information doesn't have any info that identifies delegates to follow the GDPR rules. And then in addition to that, we will share with you a second report where if a delegate has allowed us to share their information, and they do that by clicking on a pop-up when entering the booth area, then we're able to share their information, and that is whatever they have provided to us in their profile. As a minimum, their name, email, country, and then whatever information extra they've provided. For the microsite, Paul, can you help me here? I think that because I think that the metrics are still collected. Is that correct?
Well, to a certain extent, yes, we collect in that case what we can. Let me roll back a little bit to when you're not using the microsite. You saw the template and the individual links that we have. So we can report normally on the clicks on all the individual links that people have clicked on. Of course, if you use the microsite, there is only one event to log. That's when people came to the placeholder, if you will, in the ISN Congress site. Once they click through to your microsite, then we do not see anymore. But I would assume that you have then possibilities to check the refer and match that with any data that you collect on your site. So yes, we can track people until where they go to your microsite.
Yeah, and then that also reminds me that it's important. We will share the booth links with you about 1 or 2 days before it goes live, so you can see it. Then you can also use these links in your promotion, but it's important that you use the link that we provide rather than a direct URL so that we can collect those metrics. If you use your direct URL, we of course can't make the link. Okay, I don't think there's any more questions. So hopefully that's a good sign. Is the industry portal currently live? Yes, it will be. It should be. If you shoot me an email, for which company are you with, Rebecca?
I'm with Bayer.
Yeah, it should be. So let me look into that with Paul for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, maybe I went through it very quickly, but like I said, you can always go back to this recording if you want to refer back to it when you're building the booth. And hopefully the manual as well has all of the information that you need. But we're available by email, of course, myself and Alex, who's in the call, I believe. So feel free to reach out to us at any time. Okay, if there's no more questions, then I will thank you for attending. Thank you for joining WCN as exhibitors. We're looking forward to it. And I wish you a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.